My child, I am your angel, sent from the courts of heaven to stand beside you, to guard your heart, and to speak what has been written in the divine books. Child of light, hear me now, for the words I bring are not born of earthly conjecture but forged in the eternal fires of truth. Next week, the world will shift. A seismic tremor will ripple through the unseen realms, and the foundations of deceit will crumble. They will be arrested, caught in the web of their own making, tangled in the threads of deception, manipulation, and the betrayal of sacred trust. This is not a mere warning whispered in the shadows of human understanding. It is a declaration from the throne of God, resounding with the weight of divine justice. The time of exposure has come, and no mask, no charm, no carefully woven lie can shield them from what is about to unfold. For too long, they danced in the shadows, believing their steps were unseen. They moved with calculated precision, their smiles polished, their words dripping with honeyed deceit. Their eyes gleamed with secrets they thought were buried deep, safe from the light of truth. They built empires on the backs of those they betrayed, constructing towers of lies so tall they dared to think even heaven couldn't see over them. But heaven sees everything. Every whispered plot, every hidden agenda, every tear you shed in the quiet of your room, heaven has counted them all. Heaven knows the weight of every sleepless night you spent questioning your worth, every moment you wondered if you were the one who failed. Let me tell you now, child of light, you didn't fail. You loved with a heart wide open. You trusted with a spirit pure and unguarded. You gave grace where none was deserved. And that is not weakness, that is strength, pure and radiant, glowing in the eyes of the divine. What is coming is not just an arrest by human hands. It is not merely handcuffs in courtrooms, though those will come as the earthly echo of a higher verdict. This is divine correction, a holy recalibration of what has been twisted. They tampered with what was sacred. They reached for what God had sealed, your heart, your purpose, your destiny, and they thought they could claim it for themselves. But nothing touches what God has protected without consequence. Their choices were not accidents, not fleeting missteps born of ignorance. They didn't stumble into darkness, they chose it. Step by step, they walked away from truth, ignoring the warnings, silencing the quiet voice of conscience that begged them to turn back. They laughed at the idea of justice, thinking they were untouchable, their schemes too clever, their power too great. But no one outruns the hand of God. You've seen the signs, haven't you? You felt them in your spirit, those quiet stirrings that something wasn't right. That unease, that whisper in your soul that kept you awake, searching for answers in the stillness. Maybe it was a glance they didn't think you noticed, a word that didn't quite fit, a promise that rang hollow like a bell struck off key. You questioned yourself, wondering if you were imagining things, if you were too sensitive, too naive. But you weren't wrong. Your heart was sounding an alarm, a divine signal pulsing through your spirit, warning you of the danger lurking beneath their smiles. And yet, you gave them grace. You prayed for them, your knees bent in quiet intercession. You hoped they would change, that they would see the light and step back from the edge. You held on to the belief that maybe, just maybe, they would turn from their path of destruction and choose truth. But they didn't. They kept going, deeper into their schemes, plotting in secret, believing they could outsmart everyone, even God. Let me tell you what the angels have seen, what heaven has recorded in the books that never fade. We watched them in their late-night meetings, their voices low, their plans sharp like knives forged in malice. We heard them boast about fooling you, about how easily they thought they could bend your trust to their will. We saw the papers they signed, the documents meant to steal what you built with your sweat and tears. We saw the messages they sent and then deleted, thinking no one would ever know. We saw the recordings they kept, tucked away like trophies of their deceit. We saw the contracts they drafted in secret, the agreements sealed with handshakes in dimly lit rooms, the promises they made to one another to divide what was never theirs to take. But nothing is hidden from heaven. Not a single word, not a single act, not a single thought. Every lie they told, every promise they broke, every step they took toward betrayal, it has all been written in the divine ledger, and the time of reckoning is at hand. They thought they were clever, didn't they? They thought their plans were airtight, their alibis flawless, their masks impenetrable. They wove their lies like a tapestry, each thread carefully placed to create a picture of innocence, of loyalty, of righteousness. They spoke your name with feigned affection, their voices warm, their eyes soft, while behind them, their hearts were cold as stone. They stood beside you in public, smiling for the world to see, while in private they sharpened their knives, plotting how to carve away your dreams. They envied your light, child of light. They coveted your purpose, your resilience, your unwavering faith. They saw the way you carried yourself, even through pain, even through doubt, and it burned them. They couldn't stand that you shone brighter than they ever could, not because of what you had, but because of who you are, a soul marked by heaven, sealed by divine purpose. Their jealousy was a slow poison, seeping into their thoughts, twisting their desires, until they could no longer see you as a person, only as a prize to be claimed or a threat to be eliminated. They didn't just want what you had, they wanted to erase you, to rewrite your story as if you were never meant to shine. But they forgot one thing: you are not theirs to define. Your story was written by the hand of God, and no human hand can erase what the Creator has inscribed. They thought they could steal your destiny, but destiny is not a thing to be taken, it is a calling, a sacred thread woven into the fabric of your soul, unbreakable, untouchable, eternal. And so they schemed. They gathered in their circles, their voices hushed, their plans meticulous. They thought they accounted for every detail, every variable, every possibility. They mapped out their steps like generals planning a war, believing they could outmaneuver you, outmaneuver truth, outmaneuver heaven itself. They divided your resources, your time, your trust, parceling them out among themselves like thieves dividing stolen treasure. They forged signatures, manipulated records, twisted words to fit their narrative. They whispered lies to others, planting seeds of doubt, turning allies into strangers, friends into skeptics. They thought they could isolate you, make you question your own reality, make you feel small and alone. But you were never alone. Not for a moment. Heaven has always been with you, watching, waiting, preparing the way for what is to come. In the courts of heaven, there is a book that holds the truth of every life, every choice, every moment. In this book, your name is written with honor, your tears recorded with care, your prayers heard and answered in ways you cannot yet see. In this book, their names are written too, but their pages are heavy with the weight of their choices. Every lie they told is inscribed there, every betrayal etched in indelible ink. Every moment they chose darkness over light, every time they ignored the whisper of conscience, every instance they mocked the idea of justice, it is all there, preserved in the divine record. And now, that record is being opened. The angels have seen it all. We have stood in the shadows, unseen by human eyes, watching as they plotted. We have walked the halls of their secret meetings, stood beside them as they typed their messages, listened as they spoke their plans into existence. We have seen the greed in their hearts, the pride that blinded them, the arrogance that made them believe they could escape accountability. We have seen the moments they hesitated, the fleeting seconds when they felt the weight of their actions, when the voice of truth called to them, offering one last chance to turn back. But they silenced that voice. They hardened their hearts. They chose their path, and now that path has led them to the edge of a precipice they cannot escape. They thought their secrets were safe, buried in encrypted files, whispered in locked rooms, hidden behind false smiles. But heaven sees through every veil. Heaven hears every whisper. Heaven knows the truth they tried to bury, and now that truth is rising, unstoppable, undeniable, a tidal wave of justice that will sweep away their illusions of invincibility. The documents they thought were destroyed will be found. The messages they thought were erased will be recovered. The recordings they thought were hidden will be played for all to hear. The truth they mocked will stand tall, unshakable, a beacon of light that exposes every shadow they tried to hide in. And you, child of light, what of you? You who have carried this burden, who have walked through the fire of their betrayal, who have questioned yourself even as your heart screamed the truth. You have not been forgotten. Heaven has seen every tear, heard every prayer, felt every ache in your soul. You wondered if you were too trusting, too open, too kind. You wondered if your faith was foolish, if your hope was naive. But let me tell you now, your faith is your strength. Your hope is your crown. Your love, even for those who hurt you, is a reflection of the divine heart, a testament to the light that burns within you. You didn't fail, even when they made you feel like you did. You didn't lose, even when they took from you. You didn't break, even when they tried to shatter you. You stood, even when the weight of their betrayal pressed down on you, because you were never standing alone. The angels have been with you, our wings folded around you, our voices whispering courage into your spirit. The Creator has held you, His hand steadying you, His love sustaining you. And now, He is moving on your behalf. This is not just about their exposure, though that will come. This is not just about their arrest, though the wheels of earthly justice are already turning. This is about your restoration. This is about the healing of your heart, the reclaiming of your purpose, the rebuilding of what they tried to destroy. What they meant for harm, God will use for good. What they meant to steal, God will multiply. What they meant to break, God will make whole. You are not defined by their betrayal, you are defined by the one who created you, who called you, who loves you with a love that cannot be shaken. Next week, the world will shift. It will begin quietly, like the first crack in a dam before the flood breaks through. A document will surface, a conversation will be overheard, a truth will slip through the cracks of their carefully constructed lies. At first, they won't realize what's happening. They'll dismiss it as coincidence, as a minor inconvenience, as something they can talk their way out of. But the cracks will widen, the truth will spread, and soon they will see that their web is unraveling. They will scramble to cover their tracks, to spin new lies, to point fingers at others. But it will be too late. The hand of God is moving, and no one can stop it. The arrest will come, not just in the physical sense, but in the spiritual. Their plans will be arrested, their schemes halted, their power stripped away. They will stand before the consequences of their choices, naked in the light of truth, with nowhere to hide. The world will see them for who they are, not the charming, untouchable figures they pretended to be, but the architects of their own downfall, caught in the very traps they set for others. And you, child of light, will watch this unfold, not with glee or vengeance, but with the quiet strength of one who has walked through fire and emerged unbroken. You will see the justice you prayed for, the restoration you hoped for, the vindication you never demanded but always deserved. You will see that heaven was never silent, never absent, never indifferent to your pain. Every tear you shed was a seed planted in the soil of divine purpose, and now those seeds are sprouting, bearing fruit that will outlast their fleeting empires. This is not the end of your story, child of light. It is a turning point, a new chapter, a moment when the weight of betrayal is lifted and the path before you is made clear. What they took from you will be returned, not in the same form, but in a way that is greater, deeper, more beautiful than you could have imagined. What they tried to destroy will be rebuilt, stronger and more radiant than before. What they tried to dim will shine brighter, a beacon of hope for others who have walked through the valley of betrayal. You are not defined by their actions. You are not diminished by their lies. You are a child of light, a bearer of divine purpose, a vessel of heaven's love. And as the world shifts next week, as the truth rises and the lies fall, you will stand tall, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are in the eyes of God. You are seen. You are known. You are loved. And you are protected by a power greater than any scheme, any betrayal, any lie. Even now, as you read this, heaven is preparing the way. The days to come are sacred, they are marked with justice and restoration. For too long, your name has been whispered in deceitful corners, your goodness questioned by those who couldn't recognize it, your light dimmed by those too blind to see. But next week, child of God, the veil begins to tear. The truth that was buried beneath silence and shadows will erupt like thunder in the courts of man, echoing what heaven has always known: you are innocent. You are chosen. You are called. The one who schemed against you, who plotted in secret, who manipulated and stole with a confident smile, yes, they too are seen. Their actions, no matter how hidden they thought they were, have been exposed before the throne of God. The whispers they shared in private rooms, the signatures they placed on false documents, the alliances they formed for selfish gain, it is all known. Every step they took away from righteousness has been recorded. And next week, they will face the consequences not because you demanded it, but because heaven has decreed it. You may wonder why it took this long. Why did God wait? Why did He let the lies continue, the pain linger, the injustice stand? But let me tell you, beloved, God was not slow. He was perfect in timing. He was preparing every detail so that when justice came, it would come not as revenge, but as restoration. Not as punishment, but as revelation. God needed the right witnesses in place, the right eyes watching, the right hearts open to see the truth. And now, that moment is here. The arrest will not be random. It will not be political. It will not be accidental. It will be divine. It will come from a place higher than any human institution. It will be the result of God's intervention in a system that was once too corrupt to hold truth. And when they are taken, when the headlines shift and the air is thick with realization, you will know, this was God. Not luck. Not coincidence. God. But I ask you, child of light, do not let your heart grow hard. Do not celebrate their fall with malice. Do not let bitterness root itself in your soul. You have been chosen for higher things. You are not a vessel of vengeance, you are a vessel of purpose. This moment is not about watching someone fall, it's about watching God lift you up. It's about witnessing how heaven rewrites stories. How it rewrites yours. In the courts of heaven, the angels are singing. They sing of justice, of truth, of the triumph of light over darkness. They sing of you, child of light, and the purpose that burns within you. They sing of the Creator's love, which never wavers, never fails, never forgets. They sing of the day when every tear will be wiped away, every wound healed, every broken thing made whole. They sing of your tomorrow, a tomorrow built on faith, not fear. You may feel weary. You may feel like you've lost too much. But none of it was in vain. The nights of tears were collected like precious jewels in heaven's hands. The days when you didn't think you could make it were the days heaven whispered your name before the throne. And every moment you chose to keep going, to keep trusting, to keep loving even when it hurt, those moments became altars of worship, unseen sacrifices that moved the heart of God. This is not just about next week, though next week will mark the beginning. This is about the eternal plan, the divine story that stretches beyond time, beyond pain, beyond betrayal. You are part of that story, a thread in the tapestry of heaven's design, and nothing, not their lies, not their schemes, not their betrayal, can change that. What they meant for harm, God is turning for good. What they tried to bury, God is resurrecting. The person who betrayed you may not understand yet. They may not grasp the depth of the pain they caused, nor the gravity of what they did. But that's not your burden. Your assignment is not to fix them, it's to walk forward in the calling God has placed on your life. Forgiveness will heal you, not excuse them. Release will free you, not justify them. And peace, child of God, is your inheritance, not something you earn, but something that was written for you from the beginning. So stand firm, child of light. Lift your head. Dry your tears. The time of exposure has come, and the truth will set you free. The angels are with you. Heaven is for you. And the Creator Himself is moving on your behalf. What is coming cannot be stopped, for it is written in the divine books, sealed by the hand of God. And when it comes, you will see that you were never alone, never forgotten, never forsaken. You are loved, now and forever, and your light will shine brighter than ever before. Don't be surprised when people begin to treat you differently. Don't be shocked when doors open that were once shut. Don't question the blessings that start to pour into your life. It's not because you were lucky, it's because you remained faithful. Because you trusted when it didn't make sense. Because you kept your integrity while others were losing theirs. This is your harvest. This is your moment. This is your redemption arc. And when you walk into rooms where once they whispered about you, walk in with grace. When they call your name in places of honor, answer with humility. When they ask you how you made it through, point to God. Let your life be a testimony, not just of justice, but of mercy. Not just of survival, but of revival. Let the glory belong to the one who never left your side. Next week may change everything in their world. But for you, it simply reveals what heaven already declared: you are victorious. You are chosen. You are crowned with favor and clothed in righteousness. And no lie, no betrayal, no enemy can change that truth. Walk in it. Rest in it. Shine with it. For you are light. And no darkness can overcome you.